Talking with the experts.
Harvey Lynch discusses business growth, vision planning, profit strategy and wealth creation in episode 328.
Yeah. I'm working with a client at the moment that we're doing a lot of work on the mind game of it, because those that come into business from, let's just say, a 9-to-5 corporate job, and that 9-to-5 was that one skill set all day for those 8 hours, and then we've got to manage a business. So we're bringing over 8 hours a day of that one skill set, and then we spend our out of hours time managing everything else. And here's where the overwhelm sets in, is all of these extra things, and going through the exercise of understanding that, being aware of it, being aware of our own time and the value of our own time, where we can say, okay, here's a process. Let's walk through and look at everything we're doing right now and put a system in place, for example.
Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can catch it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today my guest is Harvey Lynch, and we're going to be discussing business growth, vision planning, profit strategy and wealth creation. Now, most people go into business to give themselves the freedom of a corporate job. So they want money, they want lifestyle, they want time, they want choice. However, many business owners struggle in their approach. And Harvey's goal is pretty straightforward, is to help serious business owners generate more clients, close more sales, and increase their overall revenue and profits quickly and inexpensively. Woohoo, inexpensively, I like that word. Welcome, Harvey, and thank you so much for joining me.
No worries, Rose. Pleasure to be here, and thanks for the introduction.
Yeah, it's just like you wrote it yourself.
Yeah, no problems. It's an interesting thing, Rose. How you mentioned, like, people going into business for more choice, more freedom. And I think that's the key word here, is freedom, freedom of choices, and it starts out that way quite often, well, most of the time, and it gets to a point where that freedom and that choice is buried in a lot of overwhelm and a lot of just head down, bum up, and hard work trying to make ends meet after a while. And it's only through my own story that I started to join the dots and say, hey, look, what's going on here? And now I'm in a position to be able to help others realise that, you know, we've got to get back to the real reason why we entered business for in the first place, and create the future for us that serves us rather than us serving our business. So that's Absolutely. Where it all started from.
Yeah. So how did Crown Business Development start?
Yeah, good question. So a number of years ago, I was heavily involved in, I had some contracting businesses, both in agricultural industry as well as building and construction. And it was through a series of events that led up to some business failure, led into some, but having successful run at business as well, thrown in some failure there. And it's always sort of stuck with me that, okay, well, why are some so good and why are some so poor? And I just honed in on that, and I went searching for the answers, and uncovered exactly what makes a successful business, as far as a business that is profitable and a business that is able to serve the business owner for their lifestyle choices. So people talk about don't treat or cross your personal with business, but it's the same thing, right? Your business creates your personal lifestyle down the track, and we need to plan it that way, because otherwise we just get really run over from our business. And it was only through starting with my wife, we formed, I was introduced to business coaching, and because I've always had this interest of business and what goes on and what makes a successful business. I really wanted to teach that to others. And through having a bit of a knack of coaching anyway, through sports and that type of thing, I thought it was a very good fit for me. So decided to go that route and have enjoyed every bit of it. So that's how Crown Business Development started, and with myself and my wife, and here we are today.
Well done. Yeah, well, got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
So, as business owners, we struggle a lot, and we see our businesses as an investment vehicle to produce profits. But and so, how can we overcome this mind shift of being a business owner and investing in our business and trying to still find that balance in the middle?
Yeah. Okay. So getting our mind around the investment vehicle type aspect of it from the beginning. So the sooner we start seeing profit in our business, it gives us a realization on, okay, when we are talking about profit and profit first, we can see that the investment is there, because we're putting profit aside to which we can then at a point in time invest that profit, whether we reinvest it in the business or reinvest it into other wealth creation, lifestyle, financial creation, other assets and other means. It's getting our mind around that first. So the sooner we can see profit in our business, which is reward for our effort, then it helps shift that mindset, that thinking a hell of a lot easier. And we use a analogy of profit first, where we actually start putting away profits straight away when I work with a client, because realizing that is a complete game changer as far as treating our business as that investment vehicle. So when we think about investments that we can go into, things such as real estate, shares, the stock market, and business, right? And that really is what it is just like those other platforms to invest into, to which we should see a return from. And the beauty of business is that returns can be quite significant, not only from profit and cash generated, but also from the value of the sale of the asset itself. So it has a two-pronged effect, really, when we talk about growing an asset that can not only spit out cash, but also grow as a saleable asset as well.
Yeah. So I'm taking it that you're dealing more with businesses that have been in business for a while and earning a certain income. Well, what strategies would a startup be able to use to create this investment opportunity?
Well, it as a startup, I mean, obviously the amount of investment is a big thing. So there's not the money to go and invest in large marketing and ad budgets and that type of thing. So we've got to treat it from a low cost to no cost strategic approach, using things such as joint venture partnerships and strategic partnerships to get a business off the ground. Also to talk to the right people. A lot of startup businesses grow via acquisition. So they get involved with people to get them on board, and they purchase other businesses in the same field to grow a business via acquisition from a startup phase. That's a good way to go for those that are really well educated in that area and have the right assistance to do that. But majority of startup businesses, I'm not going to lie, it is get in there and hustle your way a little bit to a point where you start developing the key relationships, talking to the right people, getting things off the ground there. And it is a difficult thing to do, but everyone's got to start somewhere, like you said, Rose. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of
The key
startups.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the key is though is having the right this assistance, the people to go to, and it really doesn't matter what stage of business you're in. You know, you can't do it on your own. What we might, and this opens up another kettle of fish, is trying to let go of control in our business as well, to be able to go from startup phase through to a growth phase and then scale a business. Well, there's different sets of challenges the whole way through, and we can't handle it by just trying to have complete control of every aspect of the business. That's where a lot of the overwhelm and the heartache comes into it, is trying to do everything. And here we are, no time, no choices, no money, and we wonder why. And getting that help is a huge part of it.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. And I'm looking more like a corporate, ex-corporates that have, decided that they've had enough of the corporate lifestyle and they want to, have the freedom of that. Having your own business can afford you, doesn't always afford you, but can afford you. What advice would you give those types of people that, perhaps want to use your services? So advice in regards to the corporate types that are wanting to leave the scene, you mean? Or yeah, and just start their own business.
Yeah, good point. So the first thing is to really be educated more than the skill set that you currently have, because in business we work on four areas of business that a business needs to be able to function: lead generation systems, sales systems, your delivery and fulfillment systems, but also understanding finances as well. I find every time I sit down with a client, the first area we look at is the finances of the business and getting an understanding of what the numbers are actually telling us. And for those that are analytically minded, it's a lot easier to read the numbers, of course, but we quite often can find growth areas by looking at what we're already doing. But for someone moving into that space, we need to be educated around the areas that make a business function, rather than just having one set of skills, which is what most people go into their business life, their journey, having, is that one skill set. So I always like to give the analogy of a tradesperson. They've left the boss to so I think I can make a much better living going at this on my own. But just having that one set of skills is not quite enough to be able to grow a business, and to which requires either education or getting some help in creating that. So I would highly suggest is the education component of it first. If you can't find it out yourself, or you're not willing to spend the time to learn it, then get the people to help you put that together, so we leave no stone unturned, because the failure rate of businesses is so great nowadays. I mean, everyone's spoken to, heard someone say the other day 60% or 80% of business in the first 5 years. Well, no matter what it is, it's too great a number, right? So we need to make sure that we get the right help or the right education and before we take that step into business. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. When I started my business, I mean, I had other skills because I'd learnt them in various roles that I'd had through, my corporate career. However, I was still surprised by the number of things that I didn't know. Then I've learnt along the way that, helped me to build the current business that I have. And, you're quite right when you say that, just don't think that the skills that you take from the corporate role will sustain you through starting your own business, because it certainly won't. You need to, quite rightly educate yourself in finances and business management, and, because business management is a lot different than, working for somebody else.
Yeah. I'm working with a client at the moment that we're doing a lot of work on the mind game of it, because those that come into business from, let's just say, a 9-to-5 corporate job, and that 9 to 5 was that one skill set all day for those 8 hours, and then we've got to manage a business. So we're bringing over 8 hours a day of that one skill set, and then we spend our out of hours time managing everything else. And here's where the overwhelm sets in, is all of these extra things, and going through the exercise of understanding that, being aware of it, being aware of our own time and the value of our own time, where we can say, okay, here's a process. Let's walk through and look at everything we're doing right now, and put a system in place. For example, that I use is we either automate what you can do, you can delegate what you can do, and you can also eliminate stuff as well, so that you're protecting the value of your time and to focus on the key areas of business growth and profit. And a lot of the time it's not in the whacking and cracking and of the skill set you brought in the beginning. It is in the early stages, but we need to look past that as a business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. I advocate for people going to do a small business management course at TAFE. 6 to 12 months of your time. It's part-time, and it teaches you everything. And I mean, I did mine years and years ago, and I'm sure it's probably been fluffed out a lot more than it was when I did mine. But yeah, it's a really great way to get educated, is to go and do one of those. And I do believe that any business or any person thinking about starting a business, that should be one of the qualifications that they have to do before they start their business. And I think that would stop a lot of the businesses going broke in the first 5 years.
Yeah, we've just had a hell of a couple of years with COVID, and how it affected. Like, don't get me wrong, some businesses went through the roof. A lot were affected in a really bad way because they had no preparation, and it was an event that took it. I mean, you don't really see them come around very often, but more than just educated on business growth, what if scenarios if something like this happens again. More of a lesson learnt nowadays rather than what's happened out of it. Working on things like okay, whilst we are working on improving profit, let's build ourselves a war chest so that we can survive another 6 months of closing the doors down because the government said so. Things like that become part of our arsenal now to make sure that we can withstand tough times, but we're also taking responsibility as a business owner as well to make sure we ensure our success, which again, lessons learned, but having people to help you put those things in place can solve or prevent a lot of heartache.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So that's why this podcast started in the first place. I just could see a need for business owners to be able to learn how, learn new skills, learn new habits, because a lot of them closed because they had no choice. Because they didn't know anything else, and they didn't know how they could, still sustain themselves. So yeah, that's how this podcast became what it is. So, other business owners sharing their ideas, and it's been quite helpful to a lot of business owners. I've had a lot of feedback to say that the stuff that they've heard on here has, really helped them, especially through the pandemic, because, they learned that they could do a lot of things online and turn their business into an online business. Yeah. In the meantime, even if they had a bricks and mortar business. So,
It was an interesting couple of years, and it's still even having a ripple effect now. I mean, we've only just all been through COVID here in the last week, so it's filtered down our neck of the woods, but we haven't. Thank God the restrictions have been lifted on WA and around the place, but. It certainly was a massive learning curve for everyone as far as how their businesses handled it. Yeah, and to those business owners that have done very well, not knowing or being able to harness opportunistic times as well for them is an education in itself as well. So whilst business is doing really good, okay, let's really make sure we are doing good out of this by whether it be acquisitions or whether it be putting profit away into other areas, building that war chest, things like that.
Yeah, contingency plans, and quite often we don't have contingency plans in case, the bottom falls out of our life. So
yeah, well, it's a difficult thing to do. I mean, those people that are trying to make $1, and they're like, well, I can't put any money away because I'm too busy trying to make $1, and it really does come down to, okay, well, make sure we're in business and we are earning a profit, because otherwise we might as well be just working for Joe Bloggs down the road, or a glorified job, I call it. So it definitely comes back to that education and making sure we go into business earning a profit and making our way.
Now, it's my understanding that you have developed the world's first e-learning marketing system. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, sure. So business owners get the opportunity to go online and go through a 12-month learn as you go course. So it's a weekly module that gets released to you every week, and you get a chance to sit down and go through things like the foundations of business. How do we set the business up for success right from the start? Understanding things like, before we even go into marketing, for example, we get our positioning right, making sure that, okay, is our marketing going to cut through noise? Well, it's going to cut through the noise a lot easier if we're positioned correctly in our marketplace beforehand. That's one aspect of the foundations, which is the first 3 months of that program. And it allows a business owner to take their own time, learn as they go. I call it an institute. It's like a mini university where you can go in and learn this stuff in your own pace. And from there, if you need further assistance, we can step into having the e-learning plus some coaching along the way as well to make sure we are implementing, because it's only there as knowledge, and it won't be power to you if we don't implement. So it's a series of modules in there that go for up to 12 months to allow you to learn business growth strategies, lead generation, sales, putting processes in place for your business as well, and the like, to be able to make sure your business is profiting and growing at the same time. Yeah.
So where can people find this course if they wanted to take advantage of it?
Yeah, the Institute, it's crownbusinessdevelopment.com, my website online, and you can take a free tour of the Institute. So that there's a tour link at the top of the page there, where you can go in and check it out. And then if you like what you see, you can actually join up for the Institute, which is it's a game changer of a place to be and to learn and get the essential knowledge. Even for startups, it's very, very affordable for a startup business to be able to step into and learn what they need to from day one, which is fantastic, to get that education and get that help. So it's been made very, very affordable and a lot of learning in there. So, but also, if we put it into action in our business, otherwise it won't help us at all. And it's like anything, we can go and watch videos and try and learn how to play football, but unless we're out there practicing and putting it into action, it won't help us at all. So like anything in life, you need to put it into practice.
It's a waste of time and energy if you don't implement what you learn.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
Harvey, I don't suppose you've written a book about any of your theories and systems?
Yes, yeah, a couple of books. Got a book there, Business Success Secrets Handbook. That gives you tips, techniques, and strategies to use in any economy. So whether the economy is good or poor, those strategies you can put to use in your business there as well. And And the other one, Profit Success Secrets, is another book which you can get on my website as well. Profit Acceleration Secrets, sorry. You can get that on the site as well, and that walks through a lot of the same stuff that you will learn in the e-learning institute. But I'll put it together in a book that people can grab over there as well, which is a little golden nugget there. That little book, it's a classic.
Terrific. And so, is it available anywhere else other than your website?
Just on the site, yeah. So crownbusinessdevelopment.com is where you can grab the book right on the site there. No problems at all, Rose. Yeah.
Good-o. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed it.
Likewise,
Time's
Rose,
gone by so quick. I can't believe it. Have you got any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share, or any other things that you might like to talk about?
Sure, Rose. Well, words of wisdom. I thought one lot of words of wisdom that stuck with me over the years, and it's going to be my third book. I think I'll write. I'll call it. And the words of wisdom are: don't go looking for snakes. And what that means is I heard a song some years ago, and it was by a heavy metal band, believe it or not, Metallica. And the lyrics in one of their songs was "Don't go looking for snakes because you just might find one." And that stuck with me for a number of years. And the reason it stuck with me is because of the complete opposite. If we go looking for the answers, they'll generally show up for us. And it's like being educated in business. If there's something you don't know, you've just got to go look for the answers because they will show up. And it's something that has always worked for me. I know there's answers and I know there's options out there because there always is. We've just got to get off our backside and go and find the answers and then put it into practice for ourselves. So when I mix that with those words of wisdom, those words have stuck with me, and it's been a reminder for, when we do get into challenging times, is right, let's find the answer to this problem because it's there somewhere,
Yeah, there's always an answer to something. It doesn't matter. You might not see it straight away, but if you go looking for it, most oftentimes you'll find the right answer, or, dig a little bit further and you'll find the solution.
Absolutely, yeah. So that was my words of wisdom. If that helps anyone, well, that's a bonus.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Harvey, it's been an absolute pleasure to talking to you and to meet you, and to hear what you've had to say about business strategies and how people can actually grow their business, with through investments and so forth. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks very much for having me on. Loved it.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com. And be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.